This morning's guest has been marching to the same drum for the last 4 years. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on All American People. Good morning. Welcome to All American People. This morning with the Horry County Museum on the corner of 5th and Main here in Conway, South Carolina. We're focused on the Pee Dee Division of the March of Dimes and one of its upcoming March for Babies. And we're visiting with its executive director, Crystal Hummer. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Greg. Thank you for having me.
How exciting to get you in. We're getting close to the big Horry County Walk coming up.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Thank you for having me here today and for being able to share with the community about March of Dimes and March for Babies.
Very definitely. A lot going on with the March of Dimes.
Absolutely. We do have a lot going on. We have 4 events actually right now in the Pee Dee Division. We have an Horry County Walk, a Georgetown Walk, Dillon Walk, and Lake City Walk right now.
Wow.
So for the viewing area, if you're in any of those areas and interested, you can call our office to get more information.
Okay, great. Since you said that, it's the 843-488-3463 number?
That's correct.
Is that the best number?
Yes.
And if folks miss you, if you're not in the office, I know you've got some great volunteers in there, and we want to talk about some of the volunteer opportunities, but if they miss you, they leave a message?
Absolutely, and we'll make sure to get back with them.
Okay, that is tremendous. You know, so many folks hear the March of Dimes. They don't know what the heck that is, Crystal. Share with viewers a little bit about what set up the March of Dimes, or just what's the mission?
The March of Dimes is an organization whose mission is to prevent prematurity, birth defects, and infant mortality. To sum that up, we like to say that we stand for all babies, those who are born healthy and those who need help. Right.
Those who are born healthy and those that need help.
Absolutely. And the March of Dimes has done a lot of work over the years that there are a lot more babies born healthy now than in years past because of medical advancements and medicines that allow babies to be born healthy that may not have been born healthy years ago.
You know, when I popped by your office recently to pick up some information about the March for Babies, it was amazing to see all of the different things that the March of Dimes either been instrumental in helping to raise funds to offset and cure certain things, or to be able to actually make a difference, but also the incredible numbers of birth defect or birth-related items that y'all are focused on.
The March of Dimes, as I said, we have 3 areas: birth defects, infant mortality, and premature birth. But about 8 years ago, we really started focusing hard on premature birth because of the high rate of prematurity in our country and in our state. Nationally, 1 in 8 babies is born premature, but that number is even higher in the state of South Carolina. 1 in 6 is born premature. And unfortunately, of those, 504 approximately do not live to see their first birthday every year.
504 a year.
We're working very, very hard to change these numbers. We still have a long ways to go, but fortunately in 2010, it was the first year that we actually saw a decrease in the premature birth rate and infant mortality rate. So we know we're moving in the right direction.
Clearly getting the word out, but what are
Absolutely.
some of the reasons why in South Carolina's rate is so much higher than the national average?
Well, 3 of the initiatives that we're focusing on that we know has an impact on our premature birth rate is, number 1, the number of women in our state of childbearing age that does not have insurance. Unfortunately, they're not getting to the doctor's office in time. They may be diagnosed, if they get there early enough, with at risk for premature birth.
Right, right.
And by not getting there, they're not getting the medication they need or the bed rest or whatever it may be. Another focus is the number of women in our state of childbearing age that smoke. We know there is a direct correlation between premature birth and smoking during pregnancy. And then also the third is the number of women in our state who are having elective C-sections and inductions at 37 weeks and before, which is considered late preterm birth. And we're working very hard in our state and across the country to educate families and healthcare providers about how important it is for a woman to carry her baby to at least 39 weeks unless medically necessary.
And that is really important?
That is very important because we know that before 37 weeks and before that the organs are not fully developed. So this is very, very important.
Well, getting the word out is very important for any viewer watching now, whether they are childbearing age or they're the parent or a grandparent of somebody or a boyfriend or a father or father-in-law. So anybody out there needs to take the time to say, carry it as far as you can.
Absolutely, it is very important. And to get more information on that, they can go to the March of Dimes website.
Okay.
And there's a lot of wonderful information on there, educational information that people can read up on.
And that's marchofdimes.org?
Marchofdimes.com.
Oh, .com.
Yes,
okay.
sorry to throw you a loop on
no,
that.
that's fine. That's fine. We had somebody earlier this week promoting the something.org. So clearly, marchofdimes.com.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
very important there.
Yes.
Very important.
It is important.
And of course, could they call your office if they don't have internet access? Could they call your office to get some information?
Absolutely. Yes, we have educational materials in our office, and if we don't have what they're looking for, we can get it from our state office.
Great. So the Pee Dee Division is based here in Horry County, but you talked about a walk in Dillon.
Yes.
One in Georgetown, one in Lake City in Florence County. How large is the region that y'all serve?
We cover Horry, Georgetown, Marion, Marlboro, Dillon, and then we do an event in Lake City, so part of Florence County.
Okay.
Yes, so we do walks in all of those areas, as well as another event that we do in the fall in Horry County.
Okay, that's tremendous. The Florence Walk is actually, it would run through a different office.
Yes,
but,
through the Midlands.
Okay, through the Columbia area, but
Yes.
they could still, for viewers anywhere in the PD, they can go to marchofdimes.com or they could even call your office and be redirected back to the Midlands.
Absolutely. We'll be glad to give them that information.
That is tremendous, Crystal. How about yourself? Are you originally from the area? What got you involved in the March of Dimes?
I'm originally from North Carolina, Sanford, North Carolina. I've been in Horry County for about 5 years. I've been with the March of Dimes for almost 4 years. And my background is in fundraising. I wanted to get with an organization where I truly believed in their cause and felt like I could make a difference. And I definitely feel like I can make a difference and am making a difference with this organization.
That is tremendous, Crystal. Not
Thank
a lot
you.
of folks can say that.
No,
I mean,
can't.
they really
it's very
can't.
rewarding.
You know, the guest we had on yesterday morning, Walter Hill, who runs the museum here, it's fascinating hearing him say from an early age he'd wanted to be a curator. He wanted to work in a museum and really make a difference. When you hear him talk about what all's happening here, what all's happening as they expand to the Old Borough School and the L.W. Paul Living History Farm, it's really exciting. You get fired up no matter, and the same way, clearly your excitement about working on behalf of all babies is apparent, Crystal.
It is, and when we see these numbers, like I said, decrease in infant mortality and premature birth, you know that what you're doing is truly making a difference.
How about to share for viewers real quick the significance of the neonatal intensive care units? These are something that clearly are impacting, serving those families, and I know we'll talk a little more about ambassador families, particularly here, the family in Horry County, but the neonatal intensive care units is something that you almost can't describe it.
That's right. If you've never been or had the opportunity to take a tour to a NICU, it's very, very powerful. A NICU is where babies that are sick go, babies that are born premature. There are 4 NICUs in the state of South Carolina, and our NICU for this region, for Horry County, is McLeod in Florence.
Okay.
And as I said, this is where, you know, sick babies go, babies that are born too soon. They may be born at a hospital here locally, but they're too sick to stay here. The hospitals can't locally provide the adequate medical care that they need, so they're transferred to a NICU.
Yes.
The NICUs were originally funded, or the March of Dimes helped fund the original NICUs.
Great.
Over the years, we've continued to fund equipment,
Right.
And we also have NICU family supports throughout different NICUs in the country, but it's the goal of the March of Dimes to make sure that there's a NICU family support in every NICU in the country, and we're working on that.
That is tremendous, Crystal. Well, that ties into exactly what we wanted to talk about, funding. Where do these funding dollars go? If someone makes a donation or helps form a team and raises a lot of funds for the March for Babies, or if they're at a Signature Chefs event or one of the many events, or just make an outright donation to the March of Dimes. I know we've heard 93 cents of every dollar in South Carolina goes straight to mission.
That's
But
correct.
what does mission mean? Where are these dollars going?
The money that the March of Dimes raises it's 4 different areas. We break it down into 4 areas. There's advocacy efforts,
Right.
our education, which we talked a little bit about, educating families and healthcare providers in the community and across the country. Research is very important. The majority of the money that we raise at the March of Dimes does go to research.
Really?
It does. We believe that if until you find the causes and the cures, you're going to continue to have the problem. So we fund a lot of grants and research efforts across this country and in the state to help try to find the causes and the cures. And what a lot of people do not realize is that we have what we call research dollars under an umbrella. So it's not just money that we're spending to focus on premature birth, infant mortality, and birth defects, which we obviously do fund research dollars for that. But there are a lot of other diseases under this so-called umbrella that the March of Dimes has funded and researched. Heart disease, cancer, SIDS, you name it, and it's probably under the umbrella that we've covered. And we're real excited about this because we feel like at the March of Dimes, if we can fix a problem at birth, we fixed it for a lifetime. And then the last category of or area that our money is spent, or the dollars that you all raise in the community is spent, is on community grants.
Yes.
And just last week, the 2011 community grants for South Carolina was released, and I'm really excited to say that locally, Beach Doulas received a $43,000 grant here in Horry County, and we're really excited. And for those of you that do not know what doula services is, it's usually a doula is an RN, and works with women who are pregnant in the community before their before the birth, during the birth, and after the birth. They educate them along the way. They're there with them during the birth, and then there afterwards to help along the way with questions. I think in the past we kind of think of doulas as being a service for women that are families that are of higher income levels. But this service is actually going to serve women in our community that would not normally be able to have these types of services. So we're really excited about it because they're going to provide education and services to these women in our community that really can use them. The services now are also being billed to Medicaid. So again, these are women that may not normally be able to afford them. So we're really excited about this. This is a seed grant. It's going to help them to grow a great service in our community. That
is tremendous, Crystal. If a viewer wanted to learn more about the Beach Doulas program, could they call your office as well?
Absolutely.
To get connected with that. I saw that was more than $40,000 community grant. And there was another one in the Pee Dee region, I believe, up in the Pee Dee area
in Florence.
itself. In Florence.
So we're really excited to have these dollars coming back to our community.
Golly, that must really give you a sense, knowing when those checks come down or those dollars flow back into the community. That really makes a statement.
It does. Absolutely.
Even if they weren't flowing into the community, for instance, research for, I know the American Heart Association, heart disease and stroke, those are done mostly at research institutions. Oftentimes those research dollars, probably the same way with the March of Dimes, you know those dollars for research go to those places, but the opportunity to have community grants coming right back here for the March of Dimes must be very special.
It is very special.
That is great, Crystal. Well, we've got a little time, and obviously the upcoming March for Babies, big here in the spring, and I know you've even got some in the fall for a couple of the communities you serve. Share with viewers about the most pressing needs right now for the Pee Dee Division of the March of Dimes.
The March for Babies event is our signature event for the March of Dimes nationally, statewide, and locally. It's our largest fundraiser that we do locally. This year's event is April the 30th at Coastal Carolina University. And we are encouraging people in the community to form teams, fundraising teams to support our efforts. We have a $300,000 goal.
Wow.
Yes,
$300,000
it is that we're trying to raise here in Horry County. And we need the help of people in the community. And by forming a team can be one person, it can be 2 people, it can be 50 people. There's no limit. We're encouraging churches to form teams, corporation, businesses, family teams, or just a group of friends that might want to get together to raise money for a great cause and come out and walk with us on April the 30th.